Hello and welcome back. Well, it's good to see like it used to be. We got Mary Flannery, Last Chance, Woman of Wonder. Was that Dana dancing in the rain, in the rain? Good to see you all in chat. I'm glad you guys can make it early. Okay, that nature spirit one, just so you guys know. That's all I'll say about that channel right now, but yeah. That nature spirit one. Oh, there goes my phone. But yeah, that's actually the first attempt I did at airbrushing a wolf. I'm going to be working on, where is it? I came up with a design today. Someone wants an outside table with it on it. I'm going to be working on getting that on someone's outside table. But anyways, I do have a lot that I want to release my mind on. First thing is this stimulus package, okay? If you go on the website and you see that information's not available, don't worry about it, you guys. It's a pit bull. I'll see what I can do about coming up with something like that, Last Chance. Yeah, if you see status unavailable at this time, don't worry about it. It's because they either have not processed yours yet, do not have the proper information, which I don't understand. All your tax stuff's supposed to be on file. Or you're not eligible for one, which I went through in the $600 one because I did not claim 2019 taxes. So I got that as the saying, and that's exactly what happened with me. I weren't eligible. But that's what that status not available or whatever is. If you need more information and you're checking out your tax returns, that's when you need to start thinking, because it could be one of a couple of reasons. One, you make too much money, which I don't think any of us here. And number two with that is they sent the money to your bank account that you gave them the information for, and it got returned from your bank, which in that case, that's why they need more information. Or number three, that could cause the need more information if you go and look it up. And this is on the where's my money or where's my rebate that's through the IRS for this stimulus thing. The third cause would be you moved and they sent the money via check to your old address, and they do not have your new address on file. So that could be the three reasons that you'd get that. I just figured I'd put that out there. And going along with that, okay, this is right where my mind was pretty much started to go off in every which fucking direction there was today. I know that during this latest package, there was money set aside for infrastructure. Well, infrastructure, as we all know, is repairing bridges, highways, roads, and everything the federal government's in charge of. Well, that Biden dude is looking at a new package, and they're going to call it a fucking stimulus package again. And this one is all about infrastructure. And it is, once again, going to be based on the trillions of dollars. Well, with the bullshit we went through with this one, with those of us who live in Texas, Florida, Minnesota, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and all that, you guys, you have to realize that when this package came out, and this is where see the right hand, don't worry about the left hand, they snuck in there that we are paying for subway in fucking California. Now, I don't know how many of you guys remember, but it was a few years ago. California tried that high-speed rail, wasted a couple $100 million. The railway failed, and they lost the money. Well, Pigloski got her way with this one, and we are every other state, because our taxes, our kids' grandkids, our grandkids, all of them are going to end up paying for this, because there's no way in hell we're going to catch up on what our federal deficit is. They're all going to be paying for this subway in California now. The other thing that blows my fucking mind is we're paying for a bridge from New York to Canada. Hello? Just drive up through fucking Maine. If you're on the East Coast, go up through Maine. We have roads that go into Canada. There's no need for the rest of the country to pay for a damn bridge from New York to Canada. Or is somebody's pockets being greased? That's right where I'm seeing this. And this is the fluff the Republicans are talking about in this package. The other thing with this, okay, the places like, once again, New York, that Cuomo, who's now up on all these charges and everything else, and they're saying that nobody can take him to court over the death of people who died in nursing homes because he sent people from the hospitals to the nursing homes, which is bullshit. He knew that was happening. He knew the fucking thing that he was doing, and he should be able to be brought up on charges for that. But yet in mainstream media, do we hear about, it's what, 7 women now are coming forward with allegations against him? We don't hear about that. But at the same time, in this latest package that's been passed, Massachusetts, California, all these states that completely shut down their restaurants, shut down businesses, small businesses failed in this. These states are getting money because they didn't get money from taxes. That ain't our fault if we live in other states. I'm down here in Florida. We ain't getting no money for it because Florida didn't close completely like that. Yeah, for the first couple months, they closed bars and everything else. And then they realized, hey, wait a second. We need to take care of our people. We need to make sure that our businesses are open. We need to keep the people working. We need to keep everything else. And they're coming after places like Florida. Oh, you know, they're going to be hot spots. They're going to be this. The numbers are not that far off from the places like California, Massachusetts, New York, everything that completely fucking closed down. There's not much of a difference in the numbers between everything. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually just getting warmed up on the way I want to go with this. Let's see what, yes. And that Woman of Wonder, me and Bubba from Bubba News was on the phone the other day. And we talked about this, the UBI. Canada already has one. Their residents, it's over $2,000 a month that they get for this universal basic income, which is UBI. Okay. Is this a trial run with the way that they're doing this shit? Are they getting people used to getting money from the government to be able to survive? Just a question. That's just a question I'm throwing out there because it seems that way to me. So I agree with you 100% on that, Woman of Wonder. So if I'm actually going too fast from switching subject to subject, I'm sorry, you guys, but right now, my brain is moving 100 million miles a fucking hour on this. I was with a friend of mine today he picked me up at 12:45. So yeah, my rant started right around 2:00 this afternoon. Me and him was talking and I went off the fucking deep end. He actually looked at me and he goes, Vern, you need to slow down. I don't want you to have a heart attack. So yeah, there's way too much to talk about. 850. Dana, where are you at that you're getting 850? But yeah, and you guys, this is the reason why tonight's called Drunken Rant. I'll take a little shot of my sour apple schnapps. Yeah, I know we have time. I'm live. I did that live the other night, and it took an hour just to go over a couple things. But like I said, my mind's like a million miles a minute right now. Oh, okay. Yeah. That must be for like SSDI or something like that. Okay. Now, the universal basic income is going to be totally different than SSI, SSDI, any disability pay or anything, retirement. The universal base income will be every citizen in that country will get X amount of money. And that's what that's based on, is every citizen will get, like in Canada, it's somewhere just over $2,000 a month. Okay, you guys, someone on minimum wage, and this is something to think about, someone on minimum wage is not, I repeat, is not bringing home $2,000 a month off a 40 an hour pay check. Okay, so the UBI is going to be based higher than minimum wage, which is another thing that I went off on with Gail today. We were talking about that, and I mean, God bless him. He owns a business back home. Him and his brothers built it soon after they all got out of high school. It's a paving company, and he has worked his ass off to get to where he's at. And we got on the minimum wage. And he had kick-ass arguments as a small business for not paying $15 an hour. Well, I looked at him. I says, well, knowing what I know about the minimum wage, it's supposed to go up with inflation, but it hasn't. And he asked me, he goes, what do you mean? And I looked at him, I was like, well, you think about it. I says, 40 years ago, when I was 10 years old, a pack of cigarettes was what? 49, 50 cents a pack. I says, so over this 40 years, cigarettes have gone from 49, 50 cents a pack to 8, 9, 10, and above dollars per pack, depending on where you live. That's inflation. I says, a gallon of milk, which used to be, like, what was it, 60 cents, 50 cents, is now $4, $5, $6, depending on where you live. I says, that's inflation. And I remember back in 1987, I think it was, I got my driver's license. I paid 63 cents a gallon for gas. With what it's at now, that's inflation. Minimum wage is supposed to rise with inflation so that not as many people would fall into the lower income brackets. Okay, yeah, 10 cents. Yeah, I didn't have milk delivered to the house. So if minimum wage kept up with inflation, just so everybody understands how this is, minimum wage should be, I think the number I looked at was 20. I know it was just above $24 an hour, which is inflation, minimum wage, staying same together and raising. But the big corporations, and I want you guys to remember this, these big corporations who keep raising money saying, oh, it's costing me more, it's costing me more, it's costing me more. Meanwhile, the pay staying down here, they're charging more for the product that they're producing. So if everything were to stay the same, these companies wouldn't be making millions and billions of dollars a year. They'd still be back to the beginning of the way it was. But once again, you guys, it's all about this. It's all about this. And how do they keep it that people don't get paid as much? Grease the wheels. These politicians who fight against it, they're probably getting a little bit of green lining their pockets. Meanwhile, the average American is suffering for it. And that's something that blows my fucking mind. And the reason why we got on that subject was he brought up, they were talking about $15 an hour in this new package. I says, yeah, but now Pigloski came out the other day and I saw her video. And it was literally of her talking and how they want to bring all this about. So right now in 2021, they want to raise the wage to $9.50 an hour. All right, that's what just right around $2 an hour more than minimum wage is right now, which is an awesome point. Let's get that up there. 2022, they want to. I think it's supposed to go up another $1.50 an hour, up to $11 an hour. 2023, it's supposed to be up somewhere over 12. 2024, it's supposed to hit somewhere between $13 and $14 an hour. And 2025, they want to hit the $15 an hour mark. So it's expanded to raise by 2025 to $15 an hour. The problem I see with that is each time they raise the minimum wage with the way inflation goes, inflation is here, minimum wage is here. Minimum wage goes up, the price of products is going to go up. Minimum wage is going to go up, the price of the products is going up. You guys, we're not closing this gap. This should be closed. Because when they stopped increasing minimum wage, it was literally based on a surviving family. To be able to pay your rent, pay for food, pay for gas, pay your bills. It was about 10 years ago, if not longer. I remember sitting there talking with a bunch of my friends back in Maine before I moved down here to Florida. And we were talking about pay. And we figured out 10 years ago, you guys, I should have, as a single person, to pay my own way and a surviving wage should have been right around the $15 an hour they're talking about now. I was literally working to stay broke but pay my bills. And now with the minimum wage, it is now you are literally working to go find the second and third job to stay broke and work, pay your bills. So you're working yourself to death. The millionaires are becoming billionaires. The billionaires are becoming trillionaires, and so on and so forth. But they're the companies and they're the people fighting against the minimum wage, and they're always listening to them. Once again, this is another mind-blowing, pretty much, it's not even mind-blowing. It's a mind fuck subject. Because those of us who have been there and seen it know exactly what's going on. Okay? And everybody who was on the channel, was on my old channel that started off as Vern's Prep and Survival, and it later became Uncle Vern's Corner, which is the reason for my name being here, Uncle Vern. A lot of my old subs still call me that. Okay. When I left to move up to right where I made a mistake, what I was making down here, I could survive off. I was able to pay rent, even able to buy myself a little bit of alcohol now and then, maybe even go out, watch a movie and whatever. I came back down, and by the time I came back down, rents went up. Mind you, I was literally gone from Florida but for like 4 or 5 months. Rents went up by $200 and $300 a month, but the minimum wage didn't go up to match it. So now you're looking at these poor people whose their rent was $500 a month. Now they're paying $700, $800, $900 a month for the same place, but they're making the same amount of money. Uncle Vern, huh? Yeah, exactly, Dana. Yeah, I'm going to get on that. So yeah, and when I came back down, I landed a job at a body shop, and I was making $10 an hour. Well, that $10 an hour is jack shit by the time you figure your taxes out. You work a 40-hour a week. That's $400 minus your federal taxes, which is 11.8% of your income. So off every $10 that you make, you're paying $1.80 in taxes. That brings you down to $8.20 that you're bringing home off $10 an hour. And I'm in a state that we don't pay state taxes. Now, Maine, I know Maine's taxes, when I was up there, you paid the 11% for your federal, and it was like 14 or 15% for your state tax. So let's just say it was at 15 plus the 11, you're paying $2.60 off every dollar that you make is going towards your taxes, towards Medicare, towards Social Security, all this. So off $10 an hour, you're bringing home $7.40 times 40 hours a week. Your income is now what? Just under $300 a week. 300 times 4 is $1,200 a month. Your rent is running you, let's say, $800 a month. 1,300 minus 800 leaves you 500. Your electric bill runs you in the summer, let's say $80. In the winter, it runs you $120. So we'll take that and put that average as, let's say, right around $100 a month, $900 out of your $1,300. Now you're left with $400. From that $400, you got to think I have 4 weeks worth of food to buy. Okay. I don't know about you guys. Well, I can do it. I can go grocery shopping, luckily, for $25, $30 a week and be able to live and survive because I've learned to eat once a day and nothing more. But let's take someone who has a kid. They have to take that. And let's say they're spending now $75 a week off the $400 that they have. That's $300 gone. They have $100 left for the month. Now off that $100, they got to pay car insurance. They got to pay for gas. They've got to pay if they're in a state that they need to buy their oil, they got to buy their oil. Oh, wait, you know what? Now they're borrowing money to live. They're not even surviving. And this is one of the big fucking problems I have with them fighting to keep the minimum wage down to right where people are staying broke. Yeah, Dana, that's one of the things I was going to bring up. When I went up and I moved right where I did, I was paying, luckily I bought the camper that I was in at that time. I was paying $250 a month, plus my electric, which down here in Florida, unless you're running your air conditioner, it's going to run you, let's say year-round average, $80 a month, living in a tow-behind camper, mind you, not a full-size house. So luckily for me, with everything I had, my cell phone bill, I did not have cable, but I did have the internet because I had a smart TV and I could run Netflix and stuff on my phone, cast my phone to my TV. And this is right where finding things that can bring your bills down will help you out. Luckily for me, I was running on the average of $400 to $500 a month for my bills, which was easy to make. I mean, I was able to do it with some woodworking projects, like with that eagle that I have to paint. I was able to do odd and end things like that. Any odd job that came around, I could do a couple of them a week, and I had time to go out, go fishing, relax, enjoy life, and I was able to make it. Well, I found out from someone that same trailer park that I was paying $250 a month in is now $440. So it went up $220 in six or seven months' time. The beginning of the year came around, everything went up. Oh, come on, switch over. You can explain this till you're blue in the face, and until people actually live it, they don't understand it. And I understand that, and I even know her first name. I almost called her by it. Jesus first and always. That's absolutely true. But just this is helping me get this stuff out of my head. Okay, so that's my argument for minimum wage. Literally, we should be at $24 an hour, just over $24 an hour now. That's not including everything that's gone on since this pandemic has hit, and the prices of everything have gone up. When me and my buddy went on our ride today, we decided we were going to go have a beer. Well, we went to go to one of our spots that we enjoyed that's on the water down here. We pull in, they were closed. Literally closed, shut down. Boards up on the windows, you name it, it happened. So that was one of the places that's one of the places that not only got affected by what we're going through, but they ended up closing their business. Through closing the business, all the cooks, the bartenders, the waiters, the waitresses, the dishwashers, anybody they had for maintenance, all lost their jobs. Okay. But at the same time, we have states like, once again, New York and all them fucking idiots who closed everything down, didn't give a shit about their workers. They're getting money. And then they turn around and say, oh, well, in this plan, we have money for the small businesses. Cool beans. Oh, wait a second. My business closed. I can't get this money because I don't have a business no more. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Either I struggled and burned up my savings and then went back and opened my business and hope like hell that I had more money to pay everybody because I'm not making the money that I was making at the beginning. Once again, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Then you have places like Hooters, which is right next door to right where we wanted to go today. You know damn well with how many Hooters is all over this country. They were able to stay open. They're a big corporate. You have a small business who don't have that kind of backing, they're hurting. They're literally hurting to stay open. If they stayed open. Yeah, it is. It's a rant. So that's what I see with what's going on with all this. Now, here's the other feature. Not only is he talking about another $1 trillion plan to rebuild infrastructure, which they blocked Trump from doing. Trump wanted to do this, and they blocked him. Oh, no, we don't need to sink money into that. Oh, no, the roads are good. The bridges are good. Yeah, they're falling apart, but no, they're good. You don't need to do that. Now, Biden's coming out with another, it was either $2 or $3 trillion plan to rebuild the bridges and the roads and everything Trump wanted to do. But the Democrats kept blocking him, which brings me to this point, which Gale Force didn't know about this today. The filibuster, which I brought up the other day in my video. How the Democrats want to do away with the filibuster. If you don't know what that is, it's right now in the Senate, we have 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans. They have to have 10 Republicans jump ship so they can have the 60 votes out of the 100, so they can have the 60 votes to be able to pass something. That's the filibuster. Now, the Democrats use that every chance they had against what Trump wanted to do. That's how a lot of shit failed, you guys. Now, go put that back up there. Yeah, see, I try not to watch regular news, and I get my news sources from every which direction because, as the people who's been around me for a while on my channels know, if it weren't for getting what the right's doing, what the left's doing, and what the news is putting out there for our narrative, I wouldn't be able to wrap my head around a lot of the thoughts that I get, because like I've always said, I don't just live, I don't look outside the box or think outside the box. I live outside of that fucking box and look inside to see what's going on in reality. Because me and you can sit there and listen to the same story. My head will run off in another direction while you're looking forward. My head is going to go out, find the shortcut, follow that trail, come down below you. And by the time the truth comes out, I'm sitting there waiting for you, twiddling your thumbs, smoking a joint. That's right where that goes. Well, anyways, before I run off subject, the filibuster. They want to do away with that. Well, okay, what happens if they do away with that? And in our Senate right now, we have it's 50-50, 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans. They take it up for a vote. The filibuster's gone. They don't need to tend to jump ship and go over so that they can get it passed. Well, 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans, tie vote. What happens in a tie vote? The vice president has the deciding vote. You guys, this is going to give them 100% of anything that's going on. All these HR 8, HR 1446, the new bill that hasn't even been given a number yet. The one that what's her face, bitch face from fucking California came up with, that wants to make all assault weapons illegal. Anything that you can screw a fucking silencer in, illegal. Anything that you can put a bump stop on, illegal. Anything that can hold over 11 rounds, illegal. Like I was saying the other night when I brought this stuff up, these are all things from HR 127. Okay, so to do away with a filibuster, it's going to make it easier for them to get all this shit through, which is going to make it easier for them to literally sit there and chip away at anything they don't like about the Constitution, for them to be able to reach their arm out further, which is what the Constitution was all about, is protecting we the people and our rights, and keeping the government from having an overreach or becoming a tyrannical government, which is what we're living through right now. We're watching this government overreach its fucking boundaries. We're watching them become tyrannical and want nothing more than to control every one of us. And it's people like us that sit back and we talk, we try to get things out there, have conversations. When we're sitting there 6 feet apart, we can't do that. The face-to-face conversations, they're making it harder to do that. That's all part of this fucking pandemic. You can't see the true facial expressions. Yeah, you can see eyes open up, you can see squints, but you can't see their lips. You can't see the emotions coming out of them. That's part of the masks. Granted, yes, this stuff, it will help. It's not going to stop, but it will help with spreading it around. People who spit when they talk, it's going to keep that from happening. But at the same time, you should carry in your pocket 10, 15 masks, so every couple hours you can change your mask. Because no matter what, if you're outside and it's someplace that's cold, when you exhale, you're exhaling a warm air, just like you see your breath in the cold air, you see the moisture in the air. That air is collecting on your mask. It is freezing up on your mask. It is now making it a black thing that you can't breathe through. Okay, and this is part of what my show the other night was all about, with kids in masks and the lungs. So they're making it harder for all that. Like I've told back like an hour or so before I put the video out, think about what I'm going to say with the way that everything's going on and the way that this government that we have, this now tyrannical government that we have, is allowing big tech to silence and censor people. And that's why I kind of have to think. But days like today, when I've had a few drinks and I just don't give a fuck and everything's going on inside my head, I feel like it's going to explode. I've got to let it out. It's going to happen. But here's the other thing with that. Okay, back in the day, newspapers run their articles. They go out, they see what's going on. The editor reviews it. Yes, we can run it. No, we can't. Well, all of a sudden, they opened up these letters to the editor. What was a letter to the editor? It was so people like me and you can voice our opinions, have it printed in the newspaper, get our word out there, and it helped out with the First Amendment. It helped out with the freedom of speech because people had no way to get what they wanted to say put in a newspaper. So they opened up I see it as Facebook is your letter to the editor. Twitter is your letter to the editor. But our government is sitting there in Washington, D.C., behind this damn fence that's 8 foot high with fucking razor wire around it, allowing these people to say, oh, I could take this down because I don't like what they have to say. I could take this down because, I don't agree with what they're saying. They're allowing these big tech companies and companies nowadays to literally silence us. To say, okay, you don't have the freedom of speech on this. But yet the newspapers realized they had to open up the letters to the editor columns to allow people to fucking voice their opinions. What do you think about that? I mean, do you think that it's right that these places like YouTube and everything else can literally shut us down? And those of you guys who was there the night that I did that little live stream when I was up north, the live stream got shut down. Well, I was on the phone with Last Chance. Me and him talked, and we're like, oh, I'll do one about puppies and kittens. You guys, I didn't even get the third sentence into talking about puppies and kittens. YouTube cut down and deleted that fucking video because of what I was going through on the first video. They did not like the information I was putting out there. It was 100% true information. I was giving where you could find it, how you could find it, the names of the people involved, the years, the dates, everything that shit happened, and I was putting it out there. But they didn't like that. PulseJet. I'm going to get on that. This section right here, the Starlink. I'm going to get on that here in a second. And I'm going to get on my thoughts on that. And this came out of a conversation that me and Bubba News was having last night. That Starlink is not what you guys are fucking thinking. It's going to be used for bad things. But anyways, where was I? Okay, so yes, they're allowing us to be censored. And this is one of the things that Trump was trying to get people to realize. And I actually caught on to it when he was saying, he's throwing these tweets out there. His tweets are getting taken down. You guys, these big tech companies were allowed to silence the most powerful person in the United States and getting away with it. What better kind of test is there than to silence the strongest person in a country? To go against them being able to speak out and talk about what they wanted to talk about. Elmo chose that was no, it weren't Elmo. It was Ernie. It was Ernie from Sesame Street. I had like 10 of them in one of my chats. They showed up. Bang, 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 bang. Ernie this, Ernie that. That was a fucking hilarious night. That was funny. That was back when I was big enough. I had trolls. I had all that stuff. It was one hell of a night. But and once again, and everybody who's my mods know, hey, let the trolls go. Let them talk. We're not suppressing them here. If they start to become rude, then I'll say something. And if they keep going on after I say something, then yeah, go ahead, hit them over the head with your fucking blue wrench. I don't care. Okay, Starlink. Now that I saw that again, I'll jump to that subject. Okay, they're talking about the shots. I remember when they came out, they're like, okay, every 60 to 90 days, you're going to need to Every 60 or 90 days, you're going to need to go get another round. And at first it was like, oh, you're only going to need one of them. And then it became, oh, I wonder what 2's going to do. So, okay, we'll do the 2. Okay, every 60 or 90 days afterwards, go get your second one. We'll be good with that. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, I wonder what 3's going to do. They haven't gone that. Actually, they have, because I've seen pictures of these passports, and there's actually slots for a lot of them. But here's the kicker, you guys. I've still got to look into this, and right now this is just something that I heard that was coming off from actual articles, that what's going around right now, the doses are not able to fight what's going around now for the changes. The different variants, like the African, East African, whatever else variants there are out there. So they're talking about putting nanotech in the stuff they want to put in our body. And the reason why they want to do that is because through Starlink, they can punch in a code, change these nanotechs to fight the new variant as they come up and as they need to. Once again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. Full disclosure on that shit. I'm just me. The problem I have with that is we need to shut this Vern guy up. Yeah, he just had a heart attack. No. Okay, that didn't work. Oh. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Yeah, but I can understand them wanting to put that up there for what they're saying, that we can all, I can walk down the road with my laptop, no matter where I go, I'll be able to have the internet. But at the same time, the shit they want to put in our body has little thingamajiggers, receptors in there that can hook up to the Starlink, and they're admitting that they're doing this so they can type into their algorithms, change these nanos to fight the new variant. What's to say they ain't going to be able to change them nanos and say, go slap his heart? Yeah, no. I don't see myself, no. I'm sorry. I'd rather have my body fight it the good old-fashioned way, keep my immune system going. I mean, I've been now 9 years with COPD. I still smoke cigarettes like a fucking chimney sometimes. I just learned I got to keep away from very high, dusty places. I got to keep away from, like, the days that there's a very high pollen count out there. I watch my activity outside. And as a lot of you guys know, what was it? The week before Halloween, I did over 130 miles on my bike. And you guys, this is someone with COPD. And this was in a 5-day period. 2 of them 5 days, it was a downpour, complete washout. But I still made right around 130 miles in a few days. So it's depends on how you take care of your body. And the other thing with all this is, point blank, I'll say it again, I've said it before, I do not trust what's going on with the people who's in charge of us. And now with me going there and them being tyrannical and having the reach, let's go on the subject of the fences. We need them here because of what happened on the 6th. Okay, we don't feel safe. But everybody who had something to do with this, we're going to arrest them. We're going to take facial recognition. We're going to call for help from the citizens. We're going to bring them in. We're going to charge them. Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Oh, but don't worry about the peaceful protests that happened last summer. We ain't worried about them. That's all good and fine. They were speaking out against something that they had a firm belief in. Well, you guys, here we are 1 year later. And things are starting to go to court. What was it in Chicago? 2 days ago, the 16 people were shot. We have places that are starting to burn down again. But hey, you know what? It's all good. They're protesting something that they firmly believe in. We got to let them speak their voice. We got to let their voices be heard. We can't shut them up. Oh, wait, but anybody who's a Trump supporter and believes that this happened or believes that that happened, let's shut them the fuck up and throw them in jail. Exactly, Pulse Jet. And Woman of Wonder, that's the point I was getting to with the new variants that are showing up and everything that's going on. You guys, you think 2020 was something? Sit back, buckle your seatbelt real hard, hold on to the fucking bitch strap because, dude, we're getting ready to go field bombing like you've never been field bombing before. And as the saying says up there in Maine, hold a newt, we're headed for the rhubarb. This is going to make 2020 look like it was walked through the fucking park. This is just a gut feeling that I have. It's all started back up. And the worst part is if these trials do not come out the way that they want them to come out, it's going to be worse. Which brings me to the border. Okay. Remember last year, we had certain cities, certain towns, certain states that were telling the police to step down. Don't go in and do what you did. Down at the border, you guys, they were told to stand down. Point blank. We still have an administration that will not admit that they have a crisis on their hands. We're on track for over 100,000 unaccompanied children to enter this country. We're on track for over 1 million illegals to enter this country, not including the 100,000 kids. FEMA was just given complete control over housing these kids. Within 2 days of them getting control, what do? They turn around and tell DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, you need to house these kids. You need to take care of these kids. Let's just pass the buck. Let's make it so the Federal Emergency Management Association, FEMA, is passing the buck. Within 2 days of them getting it handed to them. Oh, she said, have a good night, Mitchell. So, yeah, I have a funny feeling that 2021 is going to make 2020 look like it was parked through the walk. I mean, a walk through the pack. And that's okay. That's me touching on the things that we have going on now. Okay, now here's something that even my buddy today Oh, it's Michelle, but she spells it with one L. Okay. And here's where you guys, I might be seeing this totally wrong. This is just me looking back in history, which is why I keep telling people to look at what goes on in other countries, pay close attention to what's going on overseas, what's going on to our north, what's going on to our south. America's not too far behind all this shit. In some cases, we're a couple months behind it. In some cases, we're 8, 9, 10 years behind it. And in this case, we could be far enough behind it that we need to look back at what happened during World War II. The propaganda machine has its wheels out and rolling. What do you do when you have a member or a part of your society that you do not want to see move forward or have as a part of your society? You spread rumors, you spread lies, all kinds of propaganda against that section of the society that you do not want in your society. Hence, we all know what he did. If you didn't catch that, that was a salute. He put out propaganda. He put out papers. He got neighbors to go against neighbors. He got people who were married into certain families to go against the families that they were married into. And it was all used as a part of a roundup. And now let's fast forward to, I think it was Australia was the last one that went through this. They were starting to take the gun rights away. What happened soon after that? They got everybody to register their guns. Well, you know what? That's what is part of this new HR that don't even have a number yet. And as soon as it has a number, I will make a video on that. I know that she did bring it up the day that fucking Biden signed this bill. So while he was in the White House signing this bill, she was in the House of Representatives bringing it in. So what happens when you get a list? A list of either a certain type of person, something that certain people have, so on and so forth. That list has to be there for a reason. Now let's go move a little bit forward. And like I said, I'm almost positive it's Australia. It's actually DC and shit. It's state 51 and 52 are actually being voted on soon. I can't remember the other fucking place, but it's going to be 2 more states if the vote goes right that they're going to add. So the U.S. is not going to have 51 states. I mean, not going to have 50 states and its territories. We're going to have 52 states and its territories. But anyways, back on with the list. After Australia got the list, yes, Puerto Rico, exactly. All right. See, I knew there was another place. So after they get this registry or their list, and part of what I'm almost positive it was Dianne Feinstein or Feinstein or whatever the hell you want to call it, Diane Frankenstein's wife. Part of what she wanted to do is also the buyback program. If you have weapons and want to turn them over, we will buy them back. Okay, you guys. After Australia did the buyback program, the confiscation started. They had the list. The confiscation started. Do you understand that part? This is why I keep saying you need to completely pay attention to everything that's fucking going on in this world. Yeah, we are. We're being set up for hyperinflation and then some. And the ending the middle class is exactly what they've been doing for more than 20 years. And actually, I think it was about 8 years ago that they said that there pretty much is no longer a middle class. We have the upper class and we have the broke as fuck trying to survive class. But yeah, they've been trying to end the middle class for well over 20 years. I remember that battle when I was in high school over 30 years ago. But as I was saying, if they get the list and they do the buyback program, the next thing in line is let's go do the grab. Okay, everything that they're doing right now, and like I said, is part of breaking down HR 127, taking it segment by segment by segment by segment, trying to pass it through the House, send it into the Senate. And here's the kicker, you guys. If they can do away with this fucking filibuster, if they can do away with not having to deal with that, they're on their way to chip away at the fucking foundation of the Constitution. Because in these next 2 years, before the midterms, think about everything they could pass and everything they could do away with. Yeah, minions and upper class, exactly. And so, yeah, if they can get away with that, and this is where I see that fence as part of what's going on in Washington, D.C. You guys, it's not to protect. It's because they know what they're doing. They know that if they get away with what they're trying to pull off up there right now, all hell's going to break loose in this country. And if they're behind, and this is something people have to understand, a barbed wire fence is you have your wire and it has barbs. A barbed wire fence. Little like nails wrapped around the wire, you know, it all has nails. Each nail, I think it's like they're 12 inches apart or something like that. If I remember right, that's what makes the barbed wire fence. But it's not barbed wire fence on top of this like a lot of the news outlets have been reporting. You guys, it's fucking razor wire. The shit you shave your face with, you shave your legs with. And if I remember right, it's 8 inches apart is razor wire. The razors are 8 inches apart. And it's not just up and down. They actually go completely around the wire. And a razor will cut through a leather jacket. And if you take, this is why they got to stretch that wire to pull it from post to post. If you take and cut it, you guys, that wire is going to go twang, and it's going to be a whip with razors on it. Okay? And that's the thing, and that's the part that scares me. They know that they're behind this. You guys, they built themselves a compound. A better compound. Well, I won't say better, but a compound. That's what they built themselves around the Capitol. A place for them to be able to sit behind. Be safe. There's no need for them to have our troops there, which is another thing that pisses me the fuck off. These people have been talking about getting food poisoning from the food they've been being served. Sleeping on the fucking concrete floor. I'm sorry, even the fucking people who were sent overseas to war, they had military cots. Why can't these people have at least a cot to sleep on? Instead, they're putting them on a fucking floor. Blow up mattresses, something. It's just, these things are starting to blow my fucking mind on the way that they're doing this stuff. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. All right, I got to open up a text message and see what someone was trying to say. Oh, okay. All right. But yeah, you know, and these are the things everybody has to keep their eyes open. And the final part that I want to touch on today. Am I proud to be an American? Yes, I am. I am proud of the country. I am proud of the country that I was born in. Okay. Hence the word I was born in. Am I proud of what we have become? No, I'm not. And the reason behind that, you guys, right now, in this world, anybody in chat, anybody watching right now, name another country that has as many rights as the American public does. Name any other country. Better yet, name a country that the citizens have the Constitution that literally says they have the rights to bear arms. If anybody can name one, I want to see it. Because when that's gone, we're fucked. And here's the part that pisses me off. As a nation, as a country, other countries are, back years ago, I'll never attack America. Behind every blade of grass is someone with a gun. And knowing what I know, like back in Maine, including the people who don't own guns, but to the gun ownership that is in Maine, for every person, there are 3 owned guns. Okay? And that includes people who don't own guns. There are 3 guns in Maine for every fucking citizen over the age of 18 to have in their hand 3 guns. That's a shit ton. That's a lot of fucking weapons. The civilians are armed to the fucking teeth. Now, here's my problem. We have the rights to speak up. We have the rights to fucking march. We have the rights to protest anything that we do not like and we do not see fit, or anything that we see that goes against our rights as citizens of this country. Our Constitution has made that 100% fucking clear. That Constitution is there to help us to be able to control a government who has overreach. It is there to help us to be able to control a government who becomes tyrannical and who tries to completely take over the country and control its people. Now, you guys, us Americans, are fucking pussies. Seems like people are afraid to fucking speak up. We have every right in the world, every fucking right that allows us to do this. We have a constitution that says we're allowed to do this. And here's the kicker. We prove to this fucking government, we completely prove to them, you need to wear a mask. Fuck you, I do. No, you need to wear a mask. Fuck you, I do. Wear a mask. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have a mask. You're not coming into my store. Yeah, I am. No, you ain't. Yeah, I am. No, you ain't. Okay. You know what? You're walking down the sidewalk smoking a cigarette, and I have a restaurant here. You can't smoke your cigarette on the restaurant, on the sidewalk outside of my restaurant. Yeah, I can. No, you can't. Yeah, I can. No, you can't. Okay. We're the laughing stock of this fucking world. We are the people with the most rights. We are the country with the people who are allowed to bear arms. We have a constitution that says we have the rights to speak up against our government. Our government is here to work for us. They're not here to be our fucking parents. They're here to work for us, to help us, to make sure we're taken care of. Not here to be our parents, not here to bend us over and spank us and punish us. They're coming up with laws, too many fucking laws that's giving them the reach. I saw it back after I got out of school. When my nieces and nephews were going to school, even some of my cousins when they were going to school, they'd come home and they'd tell us grown-ups, oh, you know, you're sitting here smoking a joint, and the school told me I'm supposed to tell them, I'm supposed to report you to the school. Shut up and go to your room. You can't tell me to do that. Now you're giving me mental child abuse. You're messing with my head. Yes, exactly. According to the federal law, it's against the law to wear a mask, a hood in any public place, banks, federal buildings, for sure. Exactly. That law has been on the books. It's been on the books since bank robbers wore the little fucking bandanas around their face. So they are actually having us break laws to make laws. But like I said, this is the last thing I want to touch on. It just blows my mind how Americans are bowing down to what they're doing. All right, Woman of Wonder, have a good night. I see the gun grab coming. The next 2 years is going to be a very interesting time for us all. And I just hope more and more people are willing to speak up and talk about the things that they see, to fight for the rights. I mean, you guys, you think about this. Our Second Amendment is there, and it's there for a couple good reasons. It's so you can protect you, your property, your family, and everything around you. It's there for protection. But at the same time, it's also there for protection against an overreaching tyrannical government. And that's all I'll say on that, because I'm not pushing for a war to start. I'm not saying, hey, let's go attack Washington, D.C. Let's go attack our federal buildings. I'm not saying to do any of that. I'm just saying, think about what our forefathers, when they wrote that Constitution, think about the foresight they had to have to put that kind of stuff in there. Think about the things that were going through their heads. It's like they could see into the future. Or is it because they knew that we as Americans fought against a tyrannical government to become a free nation, a place that was founded on freedoms. We were founded for people to be able to choose. Hey, Bubba News, for people to choose the religion they wanted to follow, for people to be able to choose what they wanted to do for a living. We were built on the battles against a government telling us what we can and can't do. Exactly. And that is the one that it is the only reason we have the longest constitution on the planet. But that's just something you guys need to think about, is It's because when we fought to keep out of the reach of England and Britain and all the European, we fought to keep them out of here. We fought because our forefathers fought to keep us a nation of freedom of choices, a nation of freedom to speak, the freedoms that Constitution gives us, and the reasons behind why that Constitution was made, the reasons why they sat around in them meetings and came up with all this shit. In my lifetime, I don't want to see that thrown away. Exactly. America has lost its spine. And it's sad to say. Because of what's going on here, here on YouTube. Granted, yeah, they can fucking take this video down if they want to, because of the shit that I had to say. But you guys, you know what? I'm speaking from my own heart. I'm speaking of shit that I know. I'm not sitting here spreading fucking lies and rumors like CNN, CNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, fucking CNET and all that other shit. I'm not reading from some fucking teleprompter that people are telling me what to say. I'm speaking from my own heart and the shit that's coming out of my head. We need more people to be able to do that. But even here on YouTube, you see people who are becoming fucking spineless. They're afraid to say things. They're afraid to do shows like this now. I remember when you can go and you can see a show that fucking had a rant any day of the week. You don't see that much anymore. But yeah, it's a shame too. I mean, we have channels like Last Chance who literally got taken down. I know, Bubba, everything that I used to watch on YouTube, I mean, the way that my algorithms were set up with the videos that I watch, they're not even there anymore. They're sending me videos that say, oh, watch the cute cat in my pants. Oh, geez, look, I learned how to do a flip today. Who gives a fucking rat's ass? Just because you got 1 million views and YouTube's pushing your fucking channel. Meanwhile, you have people who sit there and they literally figure things out. They do the research. Like last night, me and Bubba talking on the phone for fucking, what was it, Bubba? Hour and a half, almost 2 fucking hours discussing something. You guys, if we could have made just that phone call into a fucking video, the information that could have come out of that would have been, that show would have been fucking phenomenal. We went over a bunch of shit. And the way it was is he was looking things up and he was telling me about him. I was giving my thoughts on him. He was giving me his thoughts on him. You don't even see many channels doing that much anymore. And the ones that do, you always see are getting fucking hit. They don't show up in the algorithms. I should know better than to not have a drink in my mouth when Vern is talking. But yeah, I just, like I said, these were all things that it's getting harder and harder to just sit here and at the same time, I'm not just sitting here. I'm looking things up, and there's so much shit that I see going on around me, and so many times I want to walk up and just fucking jack slap someone behind the head and say, wake the fuck up. Look at what's going on around you. You know, it. 'Cause, 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 'cause It's just sad. Literally. But to everybody who came in and saw the whole show, I very much appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. They only see and hear what they want to. And then sometimes it's not only that, it's they only see and hear what's pushed in front of them because they don't look. They don't look to see other things. Yeah, I know you have, Last Chance. I know you've been trying to wake people up for years. And sometimes, you try so hard, you get to the limit that you sit there and wonder what you're even fighting for. What's the battle for? Why should I get wound up tighter than a fucking alarm clock on a Sunday night? Why should I care? Well, I care because I'm human. I care because it's the people around me and everything that their fucking decisions can affect the way that my life goes. They should care for the same reasons. We're not put on this planet to be blind to each other. We're not put on this planet to turn our fucking backs on each other. If something goes bad and something goes wrong, you should work together to fucking fix it. Don't sit back and think that Joe Schmo down the street's going to fix it, because he ain't going to. He don't have your interest at heart. You guys might look at things totally different. The only way to find the fucking middle ground is to sit there and talk to each other. Sit there and have the conversation, which, as a matter of fact, we know for a fucking fact from everything that's been going on for the last fucking 10, 15, 20 years. That's getting impossible to do, to sit there and talk to someone. To sit there and find the middle ground, because we have these fucking spoiled ass little brats that sit there and go blah, 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 while you're trying to talk to them. They don't want to hear a fucking word you have to say. Yeah, and post, that's part of what I was talking about earlier. You're being silenced when you get fucking booted off Facebook. You're being silenced. They're literally, they've got the rights to go against our First Amendment. And that's exactly why the letters to the editor came out in newspapers, to give people a place to speak, a right to speak, a fucking way to get their voices out there. Now that we have the way we have that, they're trying to silence it. Oh, and Last Chance, I checked out that YouTube. Surprise! It's an affiliate of YouTube. So if it's an affiliate of YouTube, how long is it going to take for them to follow what fucking YouTube did? Just a question. I saw it. I saw that you have to pay to see some videos. There was a lot about it that kind of struck me the wrong way, so I looked into it. YouTube is an affiliate of YouTube, and YouTube is its bigger brother. Knowing how little brothers are to the big brothers, 9 times out of 10, the little brother follows the big brother's way. It's called NewTube, NEWTUBE, NewTube. And it looks like a good place. I mean, but I didn't like the fact that there are some videos you have to pay to watch. So, yeah, and I looked into it big time. But yeah, with that being said, you guys, I kind of want to smoke a cigarette. I've been trying to keep away from smoking while I'm doing my videos. Christ, it's been over an hour since I had one. Yeah, exactly. I did too, Bubba, man. That was an awesome fucking conversation we had. There was no censorship. We just, it's the way most of our phone conversations go, you know, fucking a subject will come up and we each talk about what we think about it, bounce ideas off each other. Oh, look, Woman of Wonder's back. But yeah, like I said, Christ, it's been almost an hour and a half. I'm dying for a cigarette. But yeah, everybody, just and Ecleon in the UK, BitChute. I think I've heard of that one. What was that other one? Paleon, whatever it is. I guess that's back up and running. But the thing is we need to look in and see who's behind these other platforms. And when I saw YouTube behind YouTube, you hand me one through the screen. Yeah, I know. I got to count up some change and see what I can get. But that's besides the point. Everyone, just thank you again for joining in. I hope you guys all enjoyed the show, enjoyed the subject that I brought up. And I did notice that when I brought that up, that actually produced that kind of comment, we went down by 5 viewers. They didn't like me saying that America has become a bunch of fucking chickens, which we have. I mean, we won't even stand up to our own country. And at the same time, look at what's going on in Myanmar. Them motherfuckers are going up against the police. They're going up against the military. They're standing up for what they feel is right. The people in Venezuela, they did the same thing years ago. They stood up for what they thought was right. They stood up for the way that their heart fucking led them. What is it? That one, the one China fucking place there. They're still standing up and fighting against that. They're in these are countries that they're sitting there and they're fighting with sticks, rocks, cans of fruits and vegetables, whatever they can find. They're fighting against a tyrannical government or something, an overreach with nothing. If they could catch them on fire, they'd catch them on fire. Yeah, that's something me and I talked about earlier. How last night me and Bubba talked about the nanos and stuff. Riots are starting in more and more countries, and now cities, American style and globally. Yeah, but the thing is the American style, it depends on what we can't say riot, what you're peacefully protesting over. But yet these other countries, everything that happened throughout the whole summer here, they're calling them riots in every other fucking country. I'm sorry, they were riots here. And like I told Bubba last night on the phone, these people who were burning down businesses, burning down houses, burning down fucking whatever they wanted to burn down, catching cars on fire, catching a car on fire and doing that kind of shit is a fucking arson. Arson is a felony. Burning down a business, arson. Burning down a house, arson. Catching someone's car on fire, arson. And you know what the worst part of someone who's an arson is? They will catch the fucking place on fire, stand across the road in the crowd, and watch it burn. They enjoy it. Yeah, no one's talking about exactly. And I figured you were writing murders, not minders. But, it's in the thing with coming after the guns, okay? Let's see. Oh, wait, you know what? Here, let's use this. This is just the rubber hose It goes to my airbrush. Weapon? Who need a gun? Who needs a gun? Which is what they found out in, I can't remember if it was the UK or Australia, but after they took the guns and all that other shit, violent crimes with knives increased. And lo and behold, what did they do? They used all the knives that were used in these violent crimes, and they built a knife angel. And actually, let me see. Okay, I'm actually, this, and it was England, okay? I'm going to show you guys something. I don't know how many of you guys have actually seen this, but I learned about it when they started doing it. You ready? That's in England, you guys. It's made out of knives. They were used in violent crimes. After they took the guns. Mary, that was a knife sculpture over in England. Yeah, exactly. I remember the first time I saw that on the TV, I was like, holy shit. So, to someone who knows how to use it right, weapon. Weapon. Yeah. Exactly. It was in the 80s, and the swords, the hatchets, machetes, hammers, all that other shit. And like I said, it didn't take them long for them to get all them knives. And that's not the only knife sculpture. There's one that's actually in a police precinct over there somewhere. And it's an angel. Yes, anything can be used as a weapon. And I almost think, I don't know if they passed it or not, but there was one place that was trying to make it that a knife with a point on the end could no longer be sold. It had to be a blunt-ended knife. No more double-edged knives. I mean, what's next? Oh, here you can't even have a butter knife. But it's my whole point is wake up and look back in history, remember things, like with Biden saying that taxes have not been increased since 1993. Bullshit. Taxes have gone up a lot since 1993. But Biden saying taxes have not been risen since 1993. Bullshit. But he got that news through his wife. And I proved it to him. I said, think about this. Think about your income tax. And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, think about how much they take out of your fucking check a week. Is it more now than it was in 1993? He goes, oh, hell yes. He says, it's more now than it was 5 years ago. I says, then taxes have gone up. They can fucking lie down your back. They can piss down your back and do everything else, tell you it's raining. But you can't battle when you're sitting there looking at it, and it happens to you every fucking week when you get your check and you're like, oh, man. All right, last chance. Thanks for joining in. Everybody else, I'm going to have to head out myself. I got to try to figure out the cigarette situation. Stay safe, stay alert, and always do things the way they work best for you. Thank you.